Hi there, Jamie Mushaw with Jamie Mushaw Real Estate. Today I wanted to jump on here and chat with you guys a little bit about how the real estate market is going to be changing in the next month in regards to buyers and sellers and buyers having to sign buyer brokerage agreements and what that means for them and what that means for sellers. I've had quite a few clients ask me to explain this and some other of my followers on social media, so I thought I would go over that a little bit more with you today. So buyer's agent's compensation will no longer be offered from a seller to a buyer's agent in the multiple listing service. From here on out, all buyers will have to sign what's called a buyer's broker agency agreement. And what that means is that you're going to essentially have a contract between yourself and your buyer's agent. That is a commitment between both of you saying, hey, I'm going to do the best I can to find you the home that you want and negotiate the best deal. In return, I'm asking that you're committed to me. Within that agreement, it is also going to state if the seller is not offering any compensation, then the buyer is going to have to pay the buyer's agent a compensation fee. Whatever that amount is, it's going to be stated in the buyer brokerage agency agreement. So let's just break this down for home buyers. What does that mean for you as a home buyer? Let's just say you're putting 5% down on a home. We find a home for you, we write an offer, and in that offer, we're asking the seller to compensate me as the buyer's agent 2.5%, which also is what is in our buyer brokerage agreement. The seller comes back and says, I'm not offering any compensation. If you want to be compensated, then your buyer needs to pay for that. So you, as the buyer, not only are going to have to put 5% down, you're going to have that additional 2.5% to pay your buyer's agent in order for them to get compensated. Another scenario that could be there is, let's just say the seller comes back and says, I'm only offering a 2% compensation. So what that means for you as the home buyer is that you would have to make up that 0.5% difference. So instead of bringing in 5% down, you would be bringing in 5% plus that other 0.5% to make up the difference that we have in our buyer brokerage agreement that states that you're going to pay me 2.5% as a buyer's agent. So what does this mean for a home seller? Essentially, what this means for a home seller is that they may be willing to pay a compensation to a buyer's agent, but it's just not going to be disclosed or shown anywhere any longer on any platforms, including the MLS and all of the websites out there that shows what the buyer's agent compensation previously was. All of that is going away. So now all the seller is technically required to pay is whatever the fee is negotiated between their listing agent and them. Why was this created? Essentially, the thought process behind it is that it would make the process more transparent on how compensation was handled and would essentially bring down the costs for buyers and sellers when a real estate transaction was happening. So home buyers really need to be mindful about who they hire to help them purchase their home. They need to do some research, Google reviews, ask friends, ask family about someone that they can trust that is going to be able to negotiate the deal for them that they're looking to get. So if you're a home buyer and I didn't answer any questions for you that maybe you were looking to be answered, feel free to drop a comment below or you can DM me. I would love to answer those for you. So just be prepared if you are a home buyer that in the upcoming months, you will be required to sign a buyer brokerage agreement to see any listed homes on the market. It does not matter what agent you go with. Before you go into a home to see it, you will have to sign a buyer brokerage agreement. So be prepared for that and make sure that you review what is in that buyer brokerage agreement and you understand it to its fullest extent.